Man, Super Mario Kart was a fun game. Sure, the track design was a bit lackluster at times, and the game hasn't aged too well, but Super Mario Kart was an important stepping stone in the history of Mario Kart. Oh look! Someone made a high-quality render of the map. I can see every single rainbow block. Wait a minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6... The map's 128 blocks long. That's cool. Wait, hold on. Let's get started. The first thing I wanted to tackle was the colored blocks around the sides of the track. The outer ring of blocks would align with the edge of the Minecraft map, so I wouldn't have to worry about my track being skewed. The obvious choice for the blocks was red, yellow, green, and blue concrete, but something didn't look quite right when I made it. There'd usually be 4 blocks of one color in a row before changing, but when I built it, it wasn't clear that it was 4 separate blocks, because the concrete just sort of blended into itself. To fix this problem, I needed to find another block that matched the vibrancy and color of the concrete, but looked different enough to make it stand out. And then I remembered that concrete has matching concrete powder, and the concrete powder worked. I updated my design and started going around the perimeter. The outer layer of walls was easy to go around, as I was lined up at the edges of the map. All I had to worry about was lining up the inner layers of the walls, because it'd just be sitting out there in the middle of nowhere. So, I picked a block in the corner of the inside layer, and slowly followed it down and horizontally to figure out where it fit relative to the outer ring I just made. Once the first block was placed, the rest was easy to get done. Finally, I added a finish line. The obvious choice was white and black concrete, so I went with that. One important thing to note though, the finish line in the original game should be 1 block wide, but to make it look better, I made it 2 blocks wide. This doesn't affect the final track, but if any future tracks I make run into problems because of this design choice, I guess I'll cross that bridge when I come to it. And here's our first full update. As you can see, the shape's really coming along, and the finish line allows you to gauge how thick the track's going to be in game. Now, it's time to work on the shape of the track itself. I'll start this section by working on the 2 straightaways that are vertical, the one at the finish line and the one about halfway through the track. These straightaways both have stripes of 2 different colors of gray. For the darker gray, which I'll be using for the whole track, I picked gray concrete. For the lighter stripes, I picked light gray concrete. Each stripe was 2 blocks wide, which allowed me to easily plot it out. I plotted the correct number of stripes on each side, then continued the dark part until the track began to curve, where I stopped. I then started to work on the first turn. I thought that this track would take me a lot longer to complete, but as you'll see soon, it became a lot easier than I thought. For this first turn, I would line up a small section of the track to the walls, like I did with the inner colored blocks. I had to do this on both the inner portion of the turn and the outer portion of the turn. I plotted out the track until it turned into a straightaway, and then went to the next turn and did the same thing. I thought that plotting the straightaway would be difficult, but it turns out that all the angled straightaways on this track can be plotted with a 2 block forward, 1 block up pattern. When I tried to connect the 2 turns I made, it was a perfect fit on both sides. Here's what the track looked like midway through plotting. All I had to do now was to make the rest of the turns, and then connect the straightaways to them as they all shared that pattern. By doing this method, I'd quickly be able to make a very accurate profile of the track. The hardest turn for me to plot was the 4th turn, as it neither started nor ended on a straightaway. I got that turn to work, and from there it was smooth sailing to finish making both sides of the track. While making these turns, I noticed the red-white curbs, and I knew that I needed to make them as well. However, when I tried red and white concrete, the colors looked too bright, so I replaced the red concrete with red terracotta to give it a more washed out and driven on look, and it fit nicely. Here's another track update from right after I finished making the curbs. Now you can see that the whole shape is there. The grass just needs to be replaced with this respective block, and we'll be done. We're in the final stretch now. I'll start out by replacing all the grass outside of the track with sand. This took a good while as I'm playing in vanilla and don't have any mods to help easily replace it. I then moved on to the remaining area inside the track and replaced the grass there with gray concrete. While I could call this done, I still feel like I can work on this more. For starters, the top portion of the track feels bland and empty, and I think that's because I haven't added any coins or item boxes yet. For coins, I placed them on the track using gold blocks, as that felt like an obvious step. As for the item boxes though, that was a little harder. For starters, the item boxes are a 2x2 square. This seems like a good thing, but a 2x2 square is just small enough where you can't really add much detail, but also just large enough that a solid color could stick out. The best fit I could find for an item box was yellow terracotta, but there's a problem with that. In that stage, the item boxes are all piled in one area, and the boxes are touching in parts. It kind of turned the box into an amalgamation of color, and made it hard to separate them in individual boxes visually. So, I thought back to the old item boxes in the original Super Mario Bros. And added a second color in orange terracotta, as if the boxes are flashing. And with that, final addition, I can call this project complete. While I do a flyover of the completed track, I have a few things to say. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe if you want to see more. This video was pretty difficult to make as I got the idea to record this for YouTube after I finished the entire track, and I hope that didn't show too much. I'll probably work on Donut Plains 1 next, but knowing people would want to see that would help me make more content for y'all. Leave a comment if you have any feedback and I'll read all of them. I hope you all have a great day and thank you for stopping by.